So what do we hear with the Wii U? We hear, oh, well, it just didn't have third-party support. Even Nintendo gave up on the Wii U.
Like right away.
Right out of the gate, Nintendo gave up on the Wii U. But let's fast forward to the Switch. It launched with 4 games?
Yeah.
Puyo Puyo Tetris,
Bomberman.
and Bomberman R, something like that. Games nobody cared about. But what was the big game that it launched with?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. All right. Let's go back to the Wii U. Where's Breath of the Wild in the Wii U? I mean, technically it did come out after the system was completely canceled. It came out.
What did launch with the Wii U? I don't even remember.
I think Nintendo Land, Zombie U, Nintendo Land. These are just ports. Those are all ports.
FIFA.
Everything else is a port that I see. Pikmin 3. Okay.
That wasn't a launch title.
Pikmin 3. Oh, you're 2013. I hope our electricity doesn't go off.
It's a little windy.
It's a little windy outside. I mean, okay, so personally for me, the reason that Nintendo keeps me as a customer after 30 years is because of 3 franchises. Mario, Metroid, and Zelda. Now, I know I'm probably in the minority in that. I think if you ask most Nintendo fans, they would put Smash Brothers above Metroid, they would put Pokemon above Metroid, Mario Kart, most people would put above Metroid. Personally, for me, I think Metroid is better than all those series. But even when we don't get Metroids, we usually get the killer Mario and Zelda games. N64, for example. No Metroid, but we had 2 Zelda games and a Mario game to keep us company.
Yeah.
And they were all fantastic. And then you get to the GameCube, and they had everything. 2 Metroid games, basically 2 Zelda games, and a Mario game. It was just like, here's everything that you've asked for. And here's Pikmin, and here's Mario Kart, and here's a Fire Emblem game, and here's Star Fox, and F-Zero.
And the GameCube was interesting because I think Nintendo knew very early on in the GameCube that this was not going to be a big seller. I think there was a lot of pressure from Xbox, and gamers had kind of grown up, and a lot of people were just spending all their time playing Halo, and PS2 was selling like hotcakes. And I think they knew pretty early on this was not going to be another NES. This was, I mean, they scratched and clawed to move, I don't know, 20 million units or whatever. But they still, even though they realized that early on, they still made a ton of first-party titles. And very good first-party titles. The Mario Kart, the Smash Brothers.
Every said, oh, here's Fire Emblem.
Metroid Prime.
Here's 2 Metroid Prime games. First-party, the big franchises, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, Zelda, Mario. They're all fantastic games.
So with the Wii U, they obviously realized really early on this is not going to work. They didn't give up in terms of, they didn't just stop. They didn't pull a Virtual Boy and say we're just going to cancel this thing. They stuck it out for 4.5 years. But why not at least give those fans that bought one, why not invest more in that? And instead they just kind of turned their back on it and said, screw this.
You're talking about the Wii U now. Yeah. You know, I remember when the Wii U launched, well, it was shortly after launch. There was a little bit of, not that much anticipation, but it was more curiosity for me anyway because of how successful the Wii launch was. I remember going to the store, I want to say it was Target, and right after launch, and I go into the entertainment area, I'm standing in front of the Nintendo section, and there are just boxes and boxes full of Wii U's. And I remember standing there going, can you do that thing where you kind of look around, like, like, wait a minute, where are all the crowds? Where's everyone grabbing these? There's, if this was the Wii or the N64, the PS2, Switch. I mean, people would have been like fighting each other to grab these consoles.
That's true.
And nobody cared. It's a weird thing to say, but if there had been a bunch of people grabbing consoles, I think I would have grabbed one at the time. Just out of pure excitement and getting caught up in the moment, I think I would have bought one. Instead, I just kind of went, I don't want to play any of those games at launch. There were 0 games I had an interest in, which is really weird for a Nintendo console.
I really do like the design of it. It was almost perfect. It was they nailed it with the Switch. It was they almost had it. It was just the fact that you had to be in close proximity.
It was tethered
to the unit. I agree.
blew it.
With the Switch, they figured it out. They're like, okay, we gotta have it so you can take this thing anywhere you want, and that was the deal breaker. That was the difference in a Wii U, which moved 12 million units in
13,
5 years.
13 and change,
as opposed
maybe.
to the Switch, which is on pace to move, I don't even know.
100 million?
At first I was thinking 50. Now it's like, this could move 100 mil. I don't really
But
doubt it.
look at what we had in the first 9 months of the Switch. Fantastic Mario game. Fantastic Zelda game. Fantastic Mario Kart game. New Splatoon. Nintendo first party. Okay, this is coming, right? You're going to get a Metroid Prime 4. You're going to get a new Fire Emblem game. You're going to get a new Kirby game. You're going to get a new Yoshi game. You're going to get all these things.
That's because they know people own this thing. But
Yeah.
with the Wii U, they were like, no one's buying it. Screw it. We're going to just forget it.
Yeah, so when the Wii U came out, it's like, all right, well, how about a Luigi's Mansion game? How about an F-Zero game? And then they gave us a Star Fox game, which, I don't know if you ever played Star Fox. We'll play a little bit after this.
Wii U Star Fox?
Wii U Star Fox. And then Pikmin 3, which a lot of people liked, but again, Pikmin 3 motion controls, I'm sorry, man. The way that you have to... Well, I'll show you that game, too. You know, it's like... There's something about those games that even when they finally gave us some of these first-party games, and then there's Paper Mario Color Splash. Yeah. And again, you look at Metacritic on all these games, and they're all just sort of average, mediocre. And meanwhile, we're all sitting back here a year after the Wii U releases, 2 years after the Wii U releases, and we finally do have a new Mario game. Although, ironically, even though they call it 3D World, it's not much of a 3D world.
It's very linear.
It's very 2D.
Yeah.
I mean, functionally, it's a 2D game.
Really
You go from left to right, for the most part. I lost interest, too. About halfway through the game, I lost interest. But I'll tell you a game that I never lost interest in was Mario Odyssey. Never lost interest in it. Played it from start to finish. I think that if the Wii U had launched, even with a tethered tablet that was gimmicky, if it had launched with a killer open world Mario game that we really wanted, with maybe a Zelda game just within that first year, and maybe a killer Metroid game of some kind, if they had really done that, I think the Wii U would have sold much better.
And even the marketing didn't need to be better if the name was different.
Yeah.
But there's too many casual. Don't count out the casual gamers. They pay the bills.
Nintendo, of all our companies, should know that.
They should know this. The masses out there, the casual gamers, the ones that lined up to buy Wii Sports and Wii Fits and Wii Play and Wii whatever, they did not understand this is a new system.
Nintendo's E3 presentation was really confusing. Reggie came out there and was like, "Here's a tablet," and everyone kind of went,
So we're calling it Wii U.
So what? We hook the tablet up to our Wii?
Yeah.
Is that what we do?
Exactly. People thought it was an add-on. Like, the whole pitch to that system was very poorly done. I don't think they should have used the name Wii U.
No, it was a horrible name.
They were throwing ideas around, and they probably said, we need that name Wii because we need to bring over that market into this console. And they probably threw out a bunch of ideas, we, me, we, us, and someone raised his hand and said, how about Wii U? And they said, hey, that works, let's go with it. That's probably how it went.
Let's take a look at this for a moment, and I'll do a screen capture of this, but if you pull up, say I'm on Game Rankings right now, the all-time best reviewed games for the Switch, alright? Now, let's just pretend this is an alternate universe, and let's pretend this is the year 2013, a year after the Wii U came out, and let's pretend that these number 1 and 2 games were on the Wii U with these ratings, with these reviews. In this alternate universe that we're in, and it's the year 2013, and people are shopping for a new console, and people are looking at the Wii U, and they're obviously going on the internet and looking at reviews. Everybody does this. Yeah. And they go to the Wii U's review, and they go, golly, Nintendo made a new Mario game and a new Zelda game, and they have near universal perfect reviews. Wow, I want in on that. Okay? In that alternate universe, I think the Wii U could have easily sold 30, 40, 50 million consoles. But as it turned out, this is what they saw. Okay, let's try to picture a year after the Wii U came out, right? This game wasn't around. I can't remember when Mario Kart 8 came out.
It was pretty early on.
Rayman Legends. Now that wasn't even exclusive to Nintendo, right?
It's not.
That's on it. That's on everything. Mario 3D World and Smash Brothers. Those are, and Bayonetta for that matter. Those are all exclusive Wii U games. Couldn't play them anywhere else. Okay.
Wind Waker's just a remake.
Wind Waker's a remake. Shovel Knight was on everything. Mario Maker, in my opinion, is the only reason to own a Wii U. I think it's the funnest thing on the entire console. So if you're shopping for a Wii U a year after it came out, maybe thinking Christmas or whatever, and you go to the reviews and you're like, you're probably scratching your head going, oh, well, what's on here? I'm not going to buy this.
Mario Kart 8 is a legitimately great game, but it's another Mario Kart. It's probably the best Mario Kart ever, I think.
I agree.
But, I mean, it's a Mario Kart.
Look at games like Zombie U, Bayonetta 2, and Splatoon for that matter. Those are well-reviewed games, but they're not for everybody. They're really not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who will never play a Splatoon game. Not their thing. Bayonetta. You know what? I've tried playing Bayonetta. I had Bayonetta 2, and I didn't care for it. People love that. They're remaking it on the Switch. It just came out, I think. Okay, fine. If that's for you, that's great. It's not for everybody. Mario Odyssey, on the other hand, is for everybody. Mario Kart is for everybody. And these were games, at least like a year after the Wii U came out, these games were just missing. They weren't in the library.
But the Wii U that's probably the worst name of a system of all time.
It's terrible.
Call it Wii 2! That's what PlayStation does. They just keep on numbering.
Call it Nintendo U. We had Nintendo Wii, now we have Nintendo U.
It's not great, but it's better.
Better than Wii U.
Wii U is just, it killed it.
Even if the tablet wasn't tethered, the casual gamers would have been confused. And as it turns out, the casual gamers represent, I don't know, 80% of Nintendo's customers.
How many freaking copies of Wii Fit and Wii Play? Those weren't hardcore gamers buying that stuff. Those were the casual gamers.
The Wii and the DS were in the same generation, and they combined for 250 million units sold? Are you kidding me?
That's almost every man, woman, and child in the United States.
They were extremely casual, very approachable consoles.
People bought those that weren't even gamers.
Yep.
My wife had a DS. She never plays video games. She was at the store and they had a pink DS and she thought it looked girly and she bought it. I was like, why did you buy that? She never played it.
One of the amazing things, too, is that during a lot of that lifespan of those two consoles, the economy sucked. People didn't have money, didn't have jobs. 250 million units.
That was an amazing time. 2008, 2009, 2000. The entire industry, Xbox 360 was kicking ass. I mean, the entire industry was just up and up every year while the economy was down and down. How come no one has jobs and no one has money and yet everyone's spending all this money on video
Well, no one has jobs. They're home all day. They want something to do.
There you go. Yeah.